إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن خير الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار أما بعد. Week before last week mentioned concerning the dunya, and that the dunya is a temporary deceiving enjoyment. And then last week we looked at Surah Al-Asr, and that as time passes by in this dunya, man is in loss except those who believe and do righteous deeds and call each other towards the truth, and they have patience. And today, something which is also pertinent concerning the dunya, concerning as time passes on, and concerning the loss of man. Something which drives man towards his destruction. And it is following in the footsteps of the Shaitan. And Allah mentioned in Surah Al-A'raf, and surely we created you, your father Adam, and then gave you shape, the noble shape of a human being. Then we told the angels prostrate to Adam, and they prostrated, all except Iblis. He refused to be of those who prostrate. And Shaitan, Iblis, he was not from amongst the angels, but he was in their company. And surely we created your father. Allah mentioned that he created man, and Allah is the creator of everything, even the Shaitan. And Allah commanded him to prostrate to show the superiority of man over the rest of the creation. And Allah said, what prevented you, O Iblis, that you did not prostrate when I commanded you? Iblis said, I am better than him, Adam. You created me from fire, and him you created from clay. So here, Shaitan is showing his pride, his arrogance. Allah said, O Iblis, get down from this paradise. It is not for you to be arrogant here. Get out, for you of those humiliated and disgraced. So here Allah mentions that Shaitan is from amongst the arrogant ones. And again, the Messenger ﷺ said, arrogance is to reject the truth and despise people. And Iblis, he rejected the truth. And he was haughty, he was arrogant, he was full of pride, thinking himself to be better than someone else. Although Allah gave him the command to show the superiority of that being over himself. And again, this also goes back to racism, where some people think that they are better than some people due to their race. Some people think they are better than some due to having a lighter complexion. This is from arrogance, this is from pride, this is from the Shaitan. Iblis said, allow me respite till the day they are raised up. And Allah said, you are of those allowed respite. So here, take note that Shaitan is given respite until the day of judgment. He will be around until the day of judgment. This dunya, he roams it, and he comes to man and he whispers evil until the day of judgment. And he has a shayateen, his agents, his soldiers, and he sends them out to do tasks on a daily basis. And this is also from an authentic narration of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the Shaitan is around before man was created, and he will be here until the day of judgment. So be mindful of this. Iblis said, allow me respite till the day they are raised up. Allah said, you are of those allowed respite, meaning time until. Iblis said, because you have sent me astray, surely I will sit and wait against them, the humans, on your straight path. Then I will come to them from before them and behind them, and from the right and from the left, and you will not find most of them as thankful ones, meaning that they will not be dutiful to you. So the Shaitan, he is given time, he is given respite. Remember, as time passes on, man is in loss. But here, as time passes on, Iblis, he is there until the day of judgment. And he is one of the reasons why mankind is being led astray. And he also mentioned that he will wait for them on the straight path. And he will come to them from before them, meaning that he will bring doubts to them. And he will come to them from behind them, meaning that he will drive them towards the dunya, to leave off their deen and drive them towards the dunya. And he will come to them from the right, and he will come to them from the left, come to them from the right, meaning that he will divert them from doing good, and he will come to them from the left, driving them towards sin and evil. And this is the way of the Shaitan. He wants to divert you from good and lure you towards evil. He wants to send you to destruction. He wants you to follow in his footsteps. And then Allah said, get out from this paradise disgraced and expelled. Whoever of them from mankind will follow you, then surely I will fill them with hell. So here Allah mentions, and this is due to his arrogance, that he is dispelled, he is disgraced, he is belittled, he is hated, he is cursed, he is banished from the paradise. Do not follow in the footsteps of the Shaitan. Iblis is your enemy, he is not your friend. And again, he is here as time passes on. And man is in loss, he is here still as time passes on. And even those who believe and do righteous deeds and call each other to the truth in this dunya, And we try to persevere upon patience in this dunya. As time passes on, Iblis is here. And he will continue to be here till the day of judgment. He is relentless and he is persistent and he will not give up. And he will come to you from before you, from behind you, from your right and from your left. But note, and from the tafsir it mentioned, he will not come from above, because the mercy of Allah descends from above. But he will come to you from different angles to try to mislead you. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu, lahul mulku wa lahul hamd, wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala thumma amma ba'd. Allah mentions another ayat, and follow not the footsteps of Shaitan, surely he is to you an open enemy. Also Allah mentions, and he, Shaitan, swore by Allah to them both, verily, I am one of the sincere well-wishers for you both. And he will come and he will try to deceive you. Be mindful of the Shaitan. He is your enemy. He is not your friend. Also Allah mentions, O mankind, eat of that which is lawful and good on the earth, and follow not the footsteps of the Shaitan. Verily he is to you an open enemy. Over and over Allah mentions that Shaitan is our enemy. Allah mentions Shaitan commands you only what is evil and sinful, and that you should say against Allah what you know not. O you who believe, another ayat, O you who believe, enter perfectly in Islam, obeying the rules and regulations, the commands, and staying away from the prohibitions. Follow the Islamic religion, and follow not the footsteps of Shaitan. Verily he is to you a plain enemy. Another ayat Allah mentions, surely Shaitan is an enemy to you, so take him and treat him as an enemy. He only invites his followers that they may become the dwellers of the blazing fire. Do not follow in the footsteps of the Shaitan. Sometimes Shaitan will come to guide you away, to lead you astray from the straight path, in any form, in any fashion. You have to be dutiful, you have to be on your guard, you have to be a real soldier of Allah, not a jokey soldier, because Shaitan, he is not a jokey soldier. Although he is one upon evil, he is no joke. He is a plain enemy, and he is the most treacherous and the baddest one at that. Make no joke with him. You have to be firm and hold on to your Islam, because what he wants is to guide you away from the straight path and lead you to sin, whether it's the major sin or the minor sin. And sometimes he will take you in steps. If he cannot take you all at one outside the fold of Islam, he will come in steps. So he will come and get you to do a minor sin, and the minor sin leads to the major sin. So he will get you to do the minor sin, and then eventually keep coming until you do the major sin. And from the major sin, He will try to get you to be upon hypocrisy. He will try to get you to be upon shirk. He will try to get you to be upon things that take you outside the fold of Islam. And I am not saying that every major sin takes you outside the fold of Islam. But the minor sins lead to the major sins. And he wants to lead you to hypocrisy. He wants to lead you to shirk. He wants to lead you to the things that take you outside the fold of Islam. So sometimes you may have rent to pay. You have bills to pay. Everybody have things to do. So you're studying to jump somebody yard. Because why? The shaitan come and he whispers with his waswas. He whispers, you have pampers to buy, you have milk to buy. Wifey needs something, the children need books. You have bills to pay. So you're studying to jump somebody's wall or lock somebody's neck, do a kidnapping, do something haram. This is following in the footsteps of the shaitan. Some sisters, they may go through a divorce or some hardship may befall them. They take off the hijab or they take off the niqab, claiming that they're going to look for work. And it's hard to get a work with a niqab. This is following in the footsteps of the shaitan. And piece by piece, you will start to take off every garment. From the time you start to follow, one foot is another foot and another foot. Seek refuge in Allah. The best remedy, the best solution is to call upon Allah. Seek refuge in Allah. Seek protection in Allah from the shaitan. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. When the evil thoughts come to you, sell some drugs, smoke a piece of weed. The place hard right now. Wife is stressing me. Is the children stressing me? Everything stressing me. Smoke a piece of weed. Cool your head. Drink a little alcohol, run some Henny, some punching, cool your head. And instead of following the footsteps of the shaitan, so much so until you exit the fold of Islam. And there is a beautiful story of a time there was a knowledgeable person. He was one in the land who had knowledge. And there were two brothers and they had a sister. And these two brothers, they wanted to go and partake in jihad. So they were wondering who to leave their sister with. And I think it was from the nations before. From the Jews, I think. So they did not know who to leave their sister with. So they went to this righteous man, this knowledgeable person who used to do good deeds. And they say, keep our sister, we cannot trust anyone but you. And at first he was reluctant, but then he gave in. So they had a place separate for her from his dwelling place. So when they went to fight jihad, the shaitan came to him and tempted him. And no one is free from the shaitan. The shaitan will come. He is given respite until the day of judgment. So he used to go and carry food and whatever for her. And the shaitan came to him and, asked her if she is okay. Pull a little small talk. That's how it does go. Pull a little small talk with the sister. Ask she how she husband going. Ask she if everything alright. And then they start to follow and follow. So he came and he whispered, the waswas, asked her if she's okay, asked her if she needs anything. And from there it lead to them being in seclusion together, the man and the woman alone. And the shaitan came and kept on coming. Because why? He is your enemy. He is not your friend. From the time the evil thoughts and the whispers start coming, seek refuge in Allah. Do not even just think to turn away, because He will come around at you again. From the front, from the back, from the right, from the left. He will come at you from different angles. Until eventually, this religious man, this pious man, who was knowledgeable and used to do good deeds, he ended up fornicating with this woman. And then it continued whereby she got pregnant. And then it continued and the shaitan kept coming to him. And he was ashamed. And he wanted to know how to get rid of this situation. So the shaitan kept coming to him and whispering. And he mentioned to kill the woman. So he continued following in the footsteps of the shaitan. And this is how it goes. Do not even start, because you do not know if you will be able to stop up the road. So he killed this woman and he killed the child. And he buried them at a certain place. So when the two brothers came back from jihad, they inquired about their sister, and he mentioned that a disease, a plague befell the land, and she died, and he buried her. So the brothers said, okay. They trusted him because they believed him to be from amongst the righteous ones, not knowing that he was following in the footsteps of the shaitan. But then, as the nights passed, the brothers, they started to have a dream. The brothers, they started to have a dream. And they had the dream told them where their sister was buried and what transpired. So eventually they went and they dug up the grave and they found their sister and that she was pregnant and the likes. And then the shaitan kept coming to this man who was supposed to be upon righteousness. But he's following in the footsteps of the shaitan. And he knew that the brothers found out and that they were coming to kill him. And shaitan will not stop until you leave Islam. He will not stop until the day of judgment. So shaitan came to him a last time while they were going to crucify him on the cross. They had him up on the cross to crucify him. And just before he died, the shaitan came and whispered, I know how to save you. Just deny Allah and believe in me. So this man, he continued following in the footsteps of the shaitan, minor sin to major sin, to major sin to major sin, until he denied Allah and he believed in the shaitan, and thus he was entered into the hellfire due to that. So again, brothers, be mindful and do not take the shaitan as your friend. Leave off the drugs, leave off the alcohol, leave off this way where the brothers and the sisters, they have this intermingling with each other. Be a real man. Real men, we get married. Real men get married and take care of a wife. We do not go around the place committing fornication and adultery, and his Facebook and his different text messages and his this and his that and his what you're wearing and come and meet me so and let me do this. And some brothers interfering with other brothers' wives. Do not follow in the footsteps of the Shaitan. You do not know if you will be able to stop. And he will lead you astray till you leave the fold of Islam. Be mindful, brothers, and do not follow in the footsteps of the Shaitan. Lastly, concerning Adam alayhi salam and the Shaitan. Adam was prosperous and the Shaitan failed. Adam is in paradise and the Shaitan is given respite till the day of judgment, and his eventual abode is the hellfire. Do not follow in his footsteps, or else he will lead you to that, the hellfire. Adam alayhi salam, he admitted his sin. The Shaitan, he was arrogant, he was haughty, he was prideful, he did not admit to his sin. Adam alayhi salam, he was remorseful. He was one who repented. He admitted his sin and he was remorseful. He repented from his sin. The Shaitan, he traversed upon sin. He was not remorseful. He was haughty and arrogant. Adam alayhi salam, he blamed himself for his shortcoming. Iblis, the Shaitan, he blamed Allah. He mentioned, "For you have sent me astray." And this is how it is with the arrogant people. They always like to throw blame on someone else. You tell them about something they are doing wrong, they throw blame on someone else. Well, it's because of you, and it's because of this, and it's because of that. The repentant one accepts and admits his sin, his wrong, his shortcoming, and he blames himself. Adam alayhi salam, he did not despair of the mercy of Allah. Iblis, on the other hand, and the disbelievers, they despair of the mercy of Allah. Even if you fall short and you find yourself following in the footsteps of the Shaitan, again, seek refuge in Allah and turn away and continue calling upon Allah for guidance, and do good deeds and follow up those evil deeds with the good deed of repentance. But you have to admit that you are wrong. You tell a brother, stop smoking, stop drinking, stop running down women, stop stealing. They always try to have this prideful way to get out of admitting they are wrong. Do not follow in the footsteps of the Shaitan. He is to you a plain, a clear, open enemy. May Allah make us from amongst those who are mindful of the advices. May Allah make us from amongst those who are real, true soldiers of Allah, who stand firm. And may Allah grant us His mercy, His blessings. May Allah grant us forgiveness and pardon. May Allah grant us success and victory. May Allah make us blessed, successful, victorious, favorable, and honored in this life and the next. May Allah grant us His love and His pleasure. May Allah make us those who stay far away from the acts of the Shaitan and the Shayateen, and know that they are Shayateen from man. You have the Shayateen from the jinn, and they are Shayateen from amongst the human being. May Allah have mercy on us. Rabbana atina fid dunya حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وأقيم الصلاة.